We have a few stories to tell you about the sky so that you're sure to be looking up at the right times in the coming month. The first is that there's a total lunar eclipse coming up on the night of Tuesday, October 7th, morning of Wednesday, October 8th. So I like to just make sure that's Tuesday night, but it's actually Wednesday morning. If you say there's an eclipse on Wednesday, you'll probably think Wednesday night. So it is, the times are listed here. It's in the middle of the night. It starts around 2:15. I shouldn't say that. All eclipses have a part where they go through a less shady area called the penumbra, and then it makes contact with the deep shade of the Earth, which is the umbra. The lunar eclipse happens when the Earth gets between the sun and the moon. Full moon comes around and goes right in the shadow of Earth and blocks out the full sunlight on the moon, and you see this kind of red copper color. For the interest of time, I'm just going to zoom through and tell you how you can see it. One thing you cannot do is come up here. We usually try to have events for eclipses. This one is just too crazy with regard to the timing, and the neighbors would kill us, and so we're just not going to have an event. So don't come up to the
Greek theater's
observatory.
going that night too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So watch it from home. You can just go outside and look up. It's very easy. You don't need any special equipment. If you do have binoculars or a small telescope, it looks pretty great through that, but you don't need it. Of course, you may just want to sleep because look at the hours, but if you really don't want to sleep and you don't want to just walk out your door and look up, you can also watch it online. We will be streaming it through the magic of our technology here at Griffith Observatory, supported by Friends of the Observatory. There's that pitch again. So what's great about that is that we'll be able to provide the eclipse to the rest of the world.
So you could be in Boston and you could watch this?
You could be in Boston and you could watch the eclipse, or you could be on the Horn of Africa. You could be anywhere if you have internet connection and see the eclipse from Griffith Observatory. As you can see, those little shady areas show you where you can see the eclipse. Basically, it's just the west coast, western United States, and we get the full view, and so we'll be broadcasting it to anybody who wants to see it around the world.
How many people saw our April eclipse on the internet?
Oh, yeah. Did anybody see it online? I see a couple people, yeah.
But our total count was like...
Oh, about 20 million.
Yeah.
We had about 20 million people watching our feed, so let's
Don't
not
mess
screw
up.
up. I know, exactly.
Maybe I'll focus it this time.
Yeah, right. Because it's the same crew. We'll be up all night doing it, and the Matthew in the back.
What
and
could
several
possibly
others.
go wrong?
Exactly. And then I literally come off Griffith Observatory and go to the airport. It's going to be great. So anyway, Tony, where are we going to see it?
Okay. You mean in the sky? Well,
In the
it's going to be in the south.
Excellent.
It's going to be in the southwest sky. One thing I just wanted to point out: if you do have binoculars, you'll see what looks like a star right next to the moon, half a degree, moon's diameter from it. That's actually the planet Uranus, which is opposite the sun the night before. So you have both a totally eclipsed moon and a planet, which is kind of a rare lineup.
That's great.
In the early evening, these are the stars we see. If you look to the southwest, the only planets visible right now are Saturn, right down in Libra, and the planet Mars and Scorpius. It's right near Scorpius's bright star, Antares, which is an ancient Greek name that means the rival of Mars. And in the next image, you'll see why. This is a picture taken from China, and we see Scorpius setting. And here we see Antares and Mars, and you can see the identical color of the two.
Those aren't headlights?
Well, you can think of them that way, but you see. Oh.
Pretty fabulous.
And then the comet Siding Springs actually comes into our sky. It's been in the southern hemisphere, but it's moving north. And on the 19th, the night of the 19th, it'll be just a fraction of a degree from Mars. It'll have just passed its closest approach. And so if you have a large amateur telescope, you can find this. You'd need to go out to a dark sky, though, like you'd find like in Joshua Tree or someplace like that, to have a dark enough sky to see the comet. And then in the early morning, It's beautiful. I get up to take care of our chickens, but so I actually see this, but Orion and the bright winter stars are high overhead this time of year. But the planet Jupiter is ideally placed high up in the eastern sky, and this is a picture taken just a few days ago, and you can see the shrinking red spot that we talked about recently, and the other features very, very nicely.
And
Oh yeah,
right.
and then actually on the night of the 21st and in the early morning of the 22nd, you can see Orion and the Orionid meteors. This is when we pass through the orbit of Halley's Comet. You can see about 18 meteors per hour just before dawn, but some of them are very bright, and these are extremely fast. They hit our atmosphere at about 44 miles per second. So they really whiz through the sky.
And if you haven't had enough to look at in October, we
then
come toward the end of the month, a partial
the next
solar
morning, after you've
eclipse.
stayed up all night, get
Yeah.
a good sleep, and then the next afternoon you can watch this solar eclipse.
Which happens about 2 weeks, in fact, exactly 2 weeks after the lunar one, because it is the opposite phenomenon where a lunar eclipse is the Earth is between the sun and moon. A solar eclipse is the moon is between the Earth and sun and passes right in front of it. It won't be a total eclipse. It will be a partial eclipse, and those are the ones you must really, 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 really be super careful not to look at, because it's tempting. You're going to want to go look at it. Actually, a total eclipse you can look at with your own eyes, with no protection. But for a partial, you really must have protection. And you can buy such glasses at our gift store. If you couldn't guess the song, we can give you a pair. So please be very careful about that.
And we will be open for that one.
Yeah, we will be open. It's in the afternoon. That's a good point. It's at from 2 to 4:30 roughly.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep moving on.
Yeah. And this is only a partial eclipse. There's no place where you would see a total eclipse or anything
So
like
we
that.
will
But
be open, and this is a scene from the last time. Actually, it was an annular eclipse, but the last time the sun was putting on a show for us. As I was saying, you have to be careful, make sure you have the proper eye care, and come up and join us. And you'll be able to get the proper eye protection if you come to the observatory. We have loads of them, and we love to show off the sun to our visitors.